I went in and looked at my reference photos of Socotra Island, and boy, it's inspiring. I can see why I had that aquarium gravel up front. It is quite common on the shore of the island to have those smooth rounded kind of reddish stones. I think the problem is that I used too much of them. I think they could have been used a little more sparsely up front and it would have looked quite nice. It's a lot more rockier than I have here. I can see why I added all those rocks, because there's all these layers of rock. The whole island's basically rock. So also, it's much more greener than I imagined, than I remembered. I can see me putting clumps of moss all around as little bushes. That would really add to the planting. There is also, I looked up, I could see in some of the photos it looked like aloe plants, and I thought, I wonder if aloes do grow on Socotra Island. And I looked it up, and yes, there is a species of aloe that grows on Socotra Island. So I'm thinking I will add that aloe. I will also add the jades too. The dragon trees are taller than the desert rose, so I would eventually have to grow them taller. And the desert rose are planted quite densely. No, they're not planted. They are quite dense on the island. So this sparseness I have here is maybe not so representative of the island. They seem to be more, more of them closer together. So I think planting some of the other plants in here will add to the realism of Socotra Island without, I hope, taking it away. I think it will. I'm going to try it anyway. I'm going to plant my aloe next. I'm going to start the work on the aloe by removing the lower leaves to get a more tree-like form. It'll also help take a bit of the weight off the top of the tree so it won't be so top heavy. So here I go. I'm going to cut the lower leaves off. Now that's definitely an aloe. You can see the gel inside there. Getting into more of the fleshy leaves up here. So if this aloe develops pups, I can then plant more of them, making it more of a, so there's not just one aloe. So it doesn't look so lonely, I guess. I think more. I'm going to go higher with my trunk line. I only need a tuft of foliage on top. I still think I'm going to go higher. Now I have these flowers on it. What's that? What's the leaf? I have these flowers. This one is spent, the longer one here. So they're done. I'm just going to see if there's any seeds in it. It doesn't look like it. No. I don't see any seeds. I'm going to cut the spent one off. Like that. I will keep this other one just to see if it flowers. It should. As long as this operation I'm doing on it doesn't disturb the plant too much. Now I have a leaf coming out from the soil here which may indicate a pup down below. So I won't prune that one off. I think I could still go a little higher with my leaf removal. I think to there. I think that's good. Clear away all the little mini aloe leaves. I'm so excited there's a miniature version of an aloe with these tiny leaves. I think that's awesome. Okay, out of the pot it comes. This cost me $5.99, by the way, which is not too bad. I mean, I was kind of excited when I saw it, especially being this tall. So you can see the roots have gone around the pot several times. So I will try and kind of comb them out if I can If not, I'll just do sort of a light combing and they'll just have to sort themselves out, grow into the new soil, I guess. They seem to be combing out quite nicely. Okay, I'm going to have to do some root pruning here. I do have some nice radial roots, but there are a lot that have curled around too much in the bottom, so I'm going to snip some of those away. So this may affect the tree flowering, I don't know, but it's something I have to do to get a nice root base. I just can't have those roots winding round and round. Okay, it's pretty bare rooted now. It's looking good actually. Fairly radial root base. Okay, so this is a pop, this one here, so I can't cut it off now because, well, it does have its one root here, but I better let it mature a bit more before I go cutting that off. So I can plant this aloe now. Alright, let's see how the aloe would look in here. I better dig a hole for it. I think I want it right back here. I just want it to stay it upright so I can step back and have a look. See if it looks okay or not. There. I kind of like that. It definitely fits in with the desert rose. Yeah, that looks quite nice, I think. I'm going to go with that. Here's a look, kind of looking in the landscape. I think it fits in nicely. All right, I will get it planted. Do you think a year from now I'll say, okay, in today's video we're removing the aloe from the planting. It's been in there a year now and I don't like it anymore. I hope not. I think it looks good. Now another thing I haven't done is kind of settle this sand down yet. It's just sprinkled on top, so I need to go in and brush off the stones and kind of settle it in a bit. So there's the aloe planted. I need to pick out all the pieces of perlite. So I will do that. There's a big piece there and one here. They don't look as bad with the lighter sand around them, but see, this one blends in nicely. So I'll just pick out the pieces that stand out to me. I'll just sprinkle a bit of sand around the aloe, kind of covering up some of that perlite. Looking good. Now I've got a bit of sand in the aloe leaves. I'll just brush out here. I guess it could look like there was just a sandstorm, but I don't think I want it. Okay, the aloe is planted. I've got the aloe planted in the landscape and I like it. It really matches the look that gives that Socotra Island look. I really like it. I'm going to plant a bit of moss, rocks, and some more of those jades. So I'll get them from the basement and bring them out. I have brought up from the basement some of my succulents that I can plant in this planting. So I've got these jades, and I forget the name of them. I think it begins with a T. So I have quite a few of those. I have this tiny leaf Portulacaria afra. That would look good. I could put some cuttings in there. And then I've got this rat-tailed jade, and I forget the name of that, the scientific name. But it could also, I could put cuttings in. Now I don't need to, keep it this long. I could pinch the tips back. But yeah, so I've got lots of succulents that I can put over here in my Socotra Island planting. I'm going to start the planting with some balsam moss. When I looked at the Socotra Island pictures, there were several bushes that looked sort of like balsam moss, at least at this scale. So now where would I put them? I think because the moss is fine, I want it towards the back of the planting, and then my coarser plants out the front, again to give forced perspective. So I think back here by the rock, I'm going to try some moss back here. And it should grow well on this sand. And even if it, because I won't be watering this as much as a regular tree, it may go kind of dry, but that's okay too, because several of the plants on Socotra Island, you can see they're very dry looking, like as if it got too hot out and they just sort of go dormant. So how does that look? It looks okay. It looks like it's in the distance. I think maybe another one right here, like that. That looks good. And then I can put a little clump where? Definitely want something over here. Like that. And I think maybe even something beside it, a taller one like that. Sort of a... Yeah, I think that looks good. And then I just need something over this side. So I'll put a piece over here. I'm just trying to see where. Tough call. Maybe not over this side. I think over here. Yeah, that looks good. I think it's starting to green it up a bit. I think that's about all the moss I need in the planting. Next, I want to plant my largest tree, this one here. And I want it somewhere in the middle. Again, I want, you don't want your tallest trees on the edges. You want sort of a asymmetrical, triangular profile to your forest. It just looks better. So, yeah, where's this going to go? I would almost need it kind of back here. I can always cut it down too if it's too tall, which, it does need some pruning. Well, let's get it out of the pot, see what I've got, and then try it around in different areas and see what looks good. A bit of weed in there, we don't want that. Get it out of the pot. So this has also been chilling in the basement. So it'll like coming up here in the warmth and sunlight. Should grow quite well. So it's growing in a very peaty type of soil. So I'm getting down to the roots here, which are quite meager. I won't have to dig a big hole to plant this one. You can see how it's looking. Just getting rid of all this soil. Okay, that's got it down to kind of bare rooted. Next, I want to look at the trunk on this. There's a dead branch here I can prune off. Another one here coming from up here. And then how tall do I want it? I think I need to prune off. I do want to form like a dragon tree apex on this, so a kind of a rounded crown. So I'll keep what I have and prune it back to here, like that. Prune this one back to here. And then I've got a lot of strange branching here. I think I've got to remove some of these ones on the inside here. Trim this one back. Prune this one back. This one. That's kind of the start of a rounded silhouette to the tree. Maybe. We'll go with that. I don't think I actually need this branch this low down. And I'm wondering about this one. I think I've got to get rid of this. No, I'll keep that one. That'll be okay. All right, let's get this planted. Let's find a spot to plant it first of all. All right. Here I go. Placing this. Now let me try it back here. No. No. Maybe out front. It's kind of... I think it could go up front like this, even though it's a little odd having a plant that's not a desert rose out front. I think that's the only place I can put it. So I'll put it there. I don't see another location that would be suitable. So I'll put it in right here. Dig a hole. And get it planted. Now, how did I want that? Yeah, I think about there. Does that look okay? It could be moved over a bit more. And tilted a bit more. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think that's looking good. I actually like that. There's a lot of aerial roots coming off of it. I think those will dry up. And it should start growing quite vigorously now that it's in the light here. Okay, I think that looks good. I think that's quite nice. And as it fills out, it should look better and better. Now, I have a lot of cuttings. I just pruned this plant. So I have cuttings, or I have another tray of plants here. And these ones kind of tipped over in the pot. So they could be planted also as dragon trees in this island. You know, I could put one here maybe. I think I will. Maybe offset a bit, maybe right where that rock is. Yeah. I'll move this rock. And I think maybe a tree there. Might block my view of everything. If I put it here, it's kind of in line with the desert rose. I've got trees kind of lined up here. I'm going to pull it out of the pot, get it pruned up, and try it out in different locations. This one certainly has a lot of fine roots, which is good. Okay. I think, where's my scissors gone? Right here. I'm going to prune off these aerial roots here. Or maybe it was just because it was lying on the side in the soil and they formed roots, but I don't want them. And then I'm going to prune the height down back to here and here where it starts to curve. Something like that, and I'll just prune these long shoots back. They're kind of Bit odd looking. So something like that. Smaller tree. I'll try it out in the planting now. Another jade. So if it goes here, looks pretty dense. If it went off to the side, it's quite tall for a tree on the side of the planting. If it went back here, I mean, it could go there. Up front here. Too crowded. Way out front, no. Yeah, I think the only place for it is kind of back here. I don't know. It's getting kind of tight in here. Is there space way back here? Like back here? Yeah, I think so. If I can get it in back here, that would be a good spot for it, way in the distance. And there is a pocket of soil here. I've just got to move this rock up a bit. Like that. Take out a cavity of soil and put it in here. I might have to rake this out a bit. A spoon. I have a spoon now. Okay, I need some more sand in there. So there is that tree planted at the back there, and I think there's plenty of room for it there, and I think it'll add some depth to the planting, having a plant or a tree this far back. Hope so. Anyway, let's rotate it around to the front now and see how it looks. All right, round it goes. How's that look? Oh, I like that. It really gives some depth. It needed something that far back. Yeah, that's really, really nice, actually. I like that. Very nice. Here's a look at that latest tree back in there. Yeah, it looks quite nice. It's definitely fitting in with the landscape. Okay, so now I need to add a lot of little bushes in that to kind of green it up a bit. I'll start with my Portulacaria afra. You can see it's kind of grown long. My intent was not to make this a cascade, so I'm going to prune this whole branch off and use it for cutting. So here I go. And also this one I'll just shorten. You can see there's good foliage out of the tip. I'll just take it off here. Here. So now I have lots of cuttings to plant in here. You can see them here. They look nice and green and healthy looking. Okay, so here I go. I'm going to snip this one here. And these are to look like little bushes, little succulent bushes. I'll take the tips off them like that. And then I can plant this in my island planting here. So where? Well, I've got to put this rock back here. So I could put one kind of by the rock here. That would look nice. And these should root quite easily. there's one planted. Looks good. The next one, and I'll just keep cutting the same little branch here and plant it. Take an old leaf off here. Take this branch off. This one. So there's another one I can plant. And where am I going to put this one? I think it needs something over here, something low, so I'll put it in right here. Like that. Yep. Then I have another one here. I'm going to put it back in the rocks here. Like that. You can't see that one from the front view, but if you look over here, you can see it. Should I move it? No, that's okay there. I've got lots more. So this one, these old leaves. I'll put it in right over here, kind of between these two desert rose. There. That looks good. The next one. My next one maybe over here. Here. Like that. That's looking good. This is looking more miniature. It's looking more like Socotra Island for sure. I'm liking it. Kind of getting excited about it too. Okay, I have another one I can put in. Yeah, I think right there. Looks quite good there. I'm going to put a few of my other aloe cuttings in. So I'll just take the lower leaves off and then prune the top off like that. And I'll put that one in maybe out front. Maybe. Doesn't look bad there. Let's try it right there. Okay. What else? Is it green enough yet? I don't think it is. I think I need a little more. So I need to get a kind of a woody cutting. I don't know how thick a trunk these will eventually get, but they kind of get a woody trunk. Maybe this one right here. Snipping off there, and then I'll cut the top back. Kind of, oops. Trimming off. Maybe I'll just pinch them. I don't know if this will work, but we'll try it. See what happens. I have never pruned this plant before. So this might be the right way to do it, or it might not be, I'm not sure. Pinching the tips out. Sure is an interesting plant. I'm not sure the real scientific name for it, but there's kind of an interesting succulent plant. Bit of a tree form. So let me plant that next. Now, where is that going to go? I could go back behind this rock. Yeah, I think right behind this rock here. Putting it in right like that. Just kind of growing behind the rock. I've got the rat-tailed jade planted. I've got to see what it looks like from the front now. Okay, that's not too bad. It's interesting. I think I could use one right in here. So I'll put one more in the planting. Okay, I have another rat-tailed jade prepared, and I was going to try it in right back here. Yeah, that looks okay back there. I don't think I have the best view of it, but... or maybe I need to prune it a bit more, but... I think I'll take that branch that's coming up front off. Like that. And maybe plant this as a little cutting somewhere else. Maybe I'll put it in with this rock formation here. Had a bit of variety of plants here. Okay. Now, after reviewing Socotra Island, I feel maybe I do need some rocks, or I need some rougher kind of texture out front. First of all, I better fix up my sand. I've done a lot of planting and I've got a lot of perlite exposed now. So I'll want to cover that up and pick out some of the perlite. Okay, I'm going to try, I think I need some rougher texture out front. I've got that, I forget what it is. Connor gave it to me. I think it's zeolite maybe, something like that. I'll get that. Here is that material here. It's very, very close to the color of my sand. So I'm going to try some of it out front. Just see how it looks, sprinkle it around. Kind of like, like rocks. So it's not just all sand. So it really tones in nicely with the sand I added today. It's a good color. Here's a look at how that new material's looking. I actually like it. It really looks good. Now I'm wondering, do I need more rocks? That is the question. I don't know. Like I'm thinking those rocks I took away, do I need to add some back to kind of make it look a little more like Socotra Island? I don't think so. Maybe just one, maybe. I'll try some out and see how it looks. Alright, I've got my rocks back. I'm going to start with the smallest one. I was thinking maybe in here. Yeah, it looks okay. If I kind of bury that a bit. Make it sort of like a step, a ledge here. Yeah, that looks good. I like that. I wish I had some smaller rocks. We're supposed to make another trip to collect rocks. And if I do, I'm going to get very small rocks, lots of them. Now, I think I need something over here. It's kind of steep slope there. I need something to kind of contain that soil. So I'm thinking maybe this way. No, I don't like that there. No, 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 no. That could work. That could work. Especially if I plant it kind of deep here. If rocks are too big, you can always plant them really deep and it makes them disappear. Yeah, that looks good. I like these low rocks, kind of flat like shelves. I'm really running out of small rocks now. I could bury one in here. I think I will. I'll try it. Yeah, that's okay. I like that one. The buried rocks are looking good. I think that was my problem before, is I had them too exposed. Can I put one more up here? Yes, I could. Now, which way do I want to bury it? Probably like this. Here I go. Is that where I want it? Yeah, I think I'm the angle matching the other one. Like that. Yeah, I like that. That looks more like Socotra Island with those rocks in there, especially the way they're kind of like steps. Looks really, really good. And then my other two rocks, I think they're getting too big. Yeah, if I had more small ones, maybe I could place even more, but I don't at the moment. So I think this is looking good. I'm really liking it, actually. I think I need to clean up, and we'll take a look at it from the distance, take a critical look at it, see how it's looking. Here's a look at the planting on a stand. I think I would need a lighter colored stand for this. So I would have the light planting, the darker pot, and a light stand. But it gives you an idea of what it would look like. At least the stand is the right size, which is interesting. Just happen to have that. So overall, I really like the look of it. It's transformed much more into looking like Socotra Island. It looks much more like the photographs. It really reminds me of that island now. Like really. Now I had a photographer before taking pictures which gave it scale, and I think that was a good element to have. Here's a more close-up look at the planting. And to me, maybe it's just that I'm used to looking at photographs of Socotra Island that I get a real sense of scale with this planting. I can imagine a person kind of this tall walking around on the island here. Yeah, I think it succeeds as a miniature representation of the island. Now maybe someone who's not used to looking at pictures of Socotra Island or may just think of this as like a succulent garden, like you would buy in a nursery or something. They wouldn't think of it as a miniaturized version of a real life landscape, because the landscape in real life is so alien looking that to make a miniature version of it also looks very strange and alien, I think, to most people. But to me, it looks like Socotra Island. I think I'm on the right track. It'll be really interesting to see how this develops in the future. Yeah, so I'm very happy with it.
Little aloe, big aloe.
I was beginning to worry that this video wouldn't have any aloe content in it at all. It would just be kind of desert roses and rocks and sand. However, in the end, I did get my aloe planted in my Socotra Island landscape, and I'm very happy with it. I think it looks really good. So I still have to pot up my larger aloe, so that will be coming in part 2 of this series. So that's it for today. I'm Nigel Saunders. Thanks for joining me in the Bonsai Zone.